I would like to tell you another personal story about my healing journey after the loss of my 2-year-old daughter, Cynthia. I wanted to honor her by becoming the best version of myself. And the very first things that I had to do was learning to sit with my grief, with my sadness, and with my guilt. Afterwards, I truly took the time to constantly sit and meditate with the feeling of acceptance and creating that as a new belief inside of me, even though I was not wanting it. I was resisting that. I just kept doing that because you cannot create a different future if you do not become a different person. Now, after I done all of that work and I was able to bring more peace inside of my mind, inside of my life, it was time to take it a step deeper and heal all of those wounds that I already had before Cynthia passed away, because I wanted to honor her by becoming the best version of me. Now, we had a meditation teacher, Niranjani, come from the Netherlands to Aruba, and she taught me about making a U-turn. I already made a video about it, and it's basically like when something in your environment triggers something inside of you, it is important to look at yourself and look within yourself to see what is being triggered there, and stop putting the blame on that situation or that person outside of you, but instead see like, hey, what is this making me feel, and what belief is this triggering, and why am I surrounding myself with people like this, or how did I end up in this situation? Because you can take responsibility for your own choices, for your own thoughts, but not for something outside of yourself. And to grow, you have to like go within and heal yourself, so that those things in your environment don't trigger you that much anymore. You could also call it mirror work. That's how a lot of people also call it. And one thing that I healed through this mirror work, I've healed a lot of these things. I've become so much aware of my own beliefs through this mirror work, doing the U-turns. But one of the things that I want to share today is that while I lived in Aruba, I would be very judgmental of women who would be showing off like a deep décolleté, who would be showing their bellies, or really, really short shorts. And I would judge them as attention seeking, as like being really insecure and only feeling like that their body like is getting them attention. I would like think that they were like a lower level of class and worth than what I was right now, because I was wearing very decent clothing, like Tommy Hilfiger clothing, like everything like covered, because that is what Jorge also loved and wanted me to wear as well, because before that actually I was wearing all of those clothes, but I didn't realize like my beliefs were hurting myself, and it was so far away from the truth, because you cannot judge anybody else. What you're just doing is poisoning yourself, and everybody is worth just the same amount of love and beauty and resilient and whatever it is. We are all worth the same, and we all deserve love, healing, and all of those beautiful blessings in our life. So judging is just hurting yourself, and it is not true, because our thoughts are not the truth. Our thoughts show us something about our own beliefs. So when I started practicing this mirror work on this situation, because I became aware of it, that I constantly was doing this, I realized that I had a big wound from the past, from when I still lived in the Netherlands. When I went to middle school, I was very chubby. The boys would not consider me attractive. I was wearing those sweaters that were super, super fluffy, really, really far away from being popular, not at all. The boys wouldn't see me. And then all of a sudden, when I went to a different school, in that summer vacation, I started changing my clothes. I was wearing more tight, tops. I started showing a little bit more skin here and there, and I noticed that boys would tell me like, hey, I don't know what you did, but this new clothing style looks really, really good on you. I changed my hair, I lost a little bit of weight, and in this new school, all of a sudden I was getting a lot of attention from the boys, also the popular ones. And I was not used to this at all. Also got very, very distracted by it. Had to do 1 year all over again. And eventually I was so in love with one boy that I met, and he wasn't interested in me. And we were texting, but he wasn't showing really interest. So I ended up making some pictures of my breasts uncovered. And I sent it to him, and he said, "Wow, that's so beautiful, blah, blah." But what I didn't realize was that he had a friend that I was not interested in, but he was interested in me. And then he sent those pictures to his friends and to some other people that were living in the same neighborhood as I was. So basically, I was so insecure about myself. I did not have a sense of my true worth, and I only thought that I was beautiful based on showing skin, being skinny, wearing like tight clothing and things like that. And therefore, I ended up being in this situation. And these pictures were shared all of a sudden all over my town. And I remember one morning I was supposed to go to school, and I got a call from my best friend. And she said, "Sim, you better stay home today," because I was about to go with the bus to school, and I saw that somebody has printed out your picture, the one with my breast out, with my face on it as well, has printed it many, many times and spread it all through our town, on the windows of the supermarkets, of the stores, on the bus stops, everywhere. And she said, "I went together with somebody else. It's really, really early, really dark still, and we tried to find as much of them as we could and destroy them, but it's better for you to stay home." Somebody had also printed it out, hang it in my school, where also my little sister was that day. And it just destroyed me from the inside, made me so unworthy, made me feel so stupid, so stupid, and I felt so bad about myself. Now, this was before the Bluetooth, so eventually over time people forget, and time passed on, and then it was a big celebration in our town, and me and my friend, we were supposed to go out and go to this club. And before we entered, some girls ran up to me and they said, "You know, Sam, don't go inside, because this was the period where all of a sudden Bluetooth had become a thing, and people had again put this picture of mine on their phones now, because before it was sent through, I guess, like Facebook Messenger, and they started sending my picture to each other in the club through Bluetooth with the phone." And I was like, "Oh my god." So I went home again, like feeling so bad. It really, destroyed my sense of worth. And eventually I had overcome it again, and then I had a boyfriend, somebody also that I was so in love with. But he felt personally attacked that other people had seen that picture. And this was also, I mean, when you get into a relation feeling unworthy, you attract somebody who is also not feeling whole. And therefore, he himself felt really bad for himself that people had seen that picture of me, and he would call me a slut for it. He would also say, "Yeah, you kissed with a lot of boys," because that was the time, that the age where it was just only kissing with guys. And he also, I guess I was attracted to that feeling of feeling unworthy, and that's why I attracted a partner and stayed in a relationship with somebody who constantly made me feel unworthy, because that is how I felt myself as well. Eventually that relationship, after 3.5 years, ended. It was horrible, was really toxic, but I'm not saying it's his fault, because I tried to look at myself, and because I was feeling so unworthy is why I ended up in a relationship where I allowed somebody else to make me feel unworthy, because I felt like that was the truth. Now I went to Aruba, and I moved to Aruba. No, I first did my internship in Aruba for half a year. I went out, and some of the other interns, all Dutch interns, but living in different parts of the Netherlands, also went to Aruba for an internship, and we partied. Somebody had made a picture and a guy shared it on their Facebook, but their home front in the Netherlands had seen that picture, and somebody messaged him, "You know who that is? I know that girl." and she is Sam, and I have this picture. Now, this was the first time I was shown a good guy in this sense, and he went to me and he said, I want to speak to you personally, and you know what, I shared this picture, somebody sent me a message, and they sent me a picture of you. I want you to know that I am not going to share it with anybody here, but I just want you to know that that picture is out there. He didn't knew about my past, that everybody had seen that picture and it was shared everywhere, but he was really helpful and really, I guess, like in his power, that he was so caring for me and not wanting to share it with anybody, not even his friends. So this has haunted me for so long, and truly made me feel like yeah, I guess like unworthy, stupid, so stupid. And I tried to hide that wound. I tried to hide that stupid thing that I had done. And I wanted nobody to see it. These were like my secrets that I want nobody else in Aruba, because I ended up living there after my internship for many, many years. I started my own company. I never wanted anybody to find out about that stupid thing that I did, or see that picture, or because then they would know how stupid I am and how unworthy I am. But then I started, because this was something I was hiding, I started projecting this wound onto other women who were dressing the same as I was in that period, and judge them as unworthy, as like less than me, because now I am like showing the world that I'm a different person. I'm very decent. I dress very, very different. I am a different person, because I mean, who I was really, really bad. So I started projecting this wound on my environment, on other women, and it was so far away from the truth, because right now I was able to become aware, and I was able to release that wound. I am able to make my past and that experience no longer a trauma, no longer a pain, but I am able to make that a wisdom, because I realized that why I attracted that. And I also take away the blame, because it wasn't my fault that I felt like that. At that time, I didn't know any better. And if I could go back in time, I wouldn't be able to change a thing, because I would end up in the same programming, in the same life, in the same way that I'm being raised, in the same environment, with all of those same things that had programmed me the way that I was. Like, it couldn't have happened any other way. And I also have no blame for whoever was printing those pictures, for the guy who shared those pictures with his friend. Even though I know that the fact that they did that, it shows me that they were not in their heart, that they were not in their power, but they themselves have their own wounds. So it is very unloving when somebody does those kind of things and spreads pictures of somebody else like that, or prints them and hangs them all through the time. It's very, very, very unloving. But I decide that I no longer want to be angry with those people, because when I am upset with it, when I am frustrated, when I am resentful about those things, it doesn't help me, because that basically means that I'm sending toxic chemicals through my body again, becoming addicted to those emotions, and I no longer want that. So I forgive, I release, and I become wiser and more healed. And now I start seeing the world so much differently, less judgmental, more accepting. Everybody, wherever they are in their journey. And that is the power of mirroring, being able to release those old things, being able to become aware, because if you become judgmental and you just leave it as it is, like outside of you, like pointing your finger, then you will not grow, and you will keep ending up in the same situation with the same feelings all over and all over again, and you end up feeling stuck. So I'm so grateful that I have learned about this, and that is why I wanted to share with it. Maybe in the future I will share more things, because I mean, Right now I'm 37 years old, and I have been through a lot of experiences in my life, a lot of beautiful experiences, but a lot of experience also where I myself have been very unloving and unkind towards others as well, but also where other people had been unloving and unkind to me. And I need to release those things, because right now what I want to be is somebody who is authentic, somebody who does not want to hide anything anymore, because nobody is perfect. I feel like if we would be perfect, we wouldn't even be able to hold on to our body anymore, because if you're perfect, you realize that nothing over here is real, not even this body, nothing outside of ourselves. Everything is just energy. And when you are perfect, you no longer have to be here, because you've released all of your wounds. You've released all of those beliefs that are like holding you down, like that's creating this particle state of everything that is made out of matter. Okay, go really, really deep, but I want to thank you so much for watching this. If you want to learn more about healing after losing a child or becoming the best version of yourself, you can go to samlifecoach.com. Become a member of our awakening community, a community of brave parents who want to become the best version of themselves, helping each other rise, helping inspire each other, helping each other grow. There's 2 courses on there: Healing Grief, which is absolutely step number 1, so beautiful, so healing, so transforming, making space for the second course, which is the Awakening course, learning everything about the mind, the environment, and the body, and how to use those to lift your frequency and to attract all of those levels that have been closed before you before, like becoming pregnant, or wealth, or health, or career opportunities, traveling the world, wisdom, mystical experiences, having fame and beautiful recognition. You name it, everything is possible for you. And after you've been through such a traumatic experience, I feel like this is what you deserve. This is your birthright, and you are being sent to do the work so you can become the best version of yourself. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next video. Bye, my loves.